Hey guys, we're now in week number 3 of our November trips. We're done with Malaysia and we're done with Sydney. I'm now off to Qatar in a bit. However, because there was an ASEAN conference, for those who are not from the Philippines, so there was an ASEAN conference here, and I think it's still ongoing. So it was relatively traffic, I've heard, in EDSA the past few days. So I went a bit early, only to find out there was no traffic because it's still a holiday. And because of the holiday, my trip was relatively fast. My flight is around 1:15, 1:30, but because of the fast, there's no one in the airport as well. There's no one in the airport. Plus, aside from no one being in the airport, there's also no traffic. So I came a bit early. I'm now checked in. Apparently there's no lounge here for Philippine Airlines, so there's no Mabuhay lounge. So I'm just left to wonder this place. So since I have a lot of time, do you guys have any questions, anything that you want me to ask? If not, I'll just tour you around in this airport. This is NAIA Terminal 1. As you all know, this is the I think oldest airport that we have here in Metro Manila, and they embarked on I think more than a billion peso project just to rehabilitate it. So the interior, the carpets, the baggage check-ins, they've improved a bit. It's just that it's still just really a small airport, still relatively an old airport. So I think from that perspective, there's still a lot of improvement that needs to be changed there. What else? And if you see, all of the carpets and the walls have been fixed relatively better. Other than that, it's it. That's it. I don't know. I think they've offloaded a lot of the flights to Terminal 3. That's why this airport is relatively more quiet than other airports as well. But you see a bit of action. But other than that, that's it. I'm just really bored. For those who follow this personality profiles, DISE, I'm an I, and I really like to do stuff. I really like action. So this 2 to 3 hour layover or waiting period is relatively long for me. So if you have any questions, guys, send it and I'll try to answer it as soon as I can. For stocks by request, we'll do it in Doha, Qatar, probably tomorrow, as usual, 7, 8, or 9 p.m. Manila time. And then we'll do more of the videos also there as well. Ayan, you have Mark Gerald Cabangon. Good morning to you, Mark. Where are you from, Mark? And this is it. That's from the first wing. I had a hard time walking na though. They had no escalators there. But this is now the other renovated portion of NAIA Terminal 1. So this is becoming a NAIA Terminal 1 tour if you guys don't have any questions. Mark Cabangon from Singapore. I'll be there next week after Qatar, no? After this session in Qatar, I'll be there. So it would be nice to meet you also, and it would be nice to see a lot of our kababayans there. Couple of things also. Let's just talk about the index na lang while I'm waiting for some questions. Should you guys have any questions, no? There was a quick drop in the markets on Monday. There was a quick slide close to 8,300, and our attendees in Sydney said that the support at A3 might be violated. However, the A3 support was hanging as of yesterday. So again, it hasn't really changed much. The channel is still A3, A5. As long as A3 holds, the market will still pretty much move in that perspective. Sige, Renny Soriano, I'll try to include that in stocks by request. I'm gonna have a hard time lang though to do specific stocks right now because I don't have my charting software with me. I'm currently just walking, but I'll factor in your message for IDC in the next stocks by request. Hopefully by tomorrow. Hopefully I get to do it. Junjun Potot Hipe, comment about FGen. What specifically? FGen is pretty much basic. No, it's still pretty much on a long downward trend, and it will relatively be hard for it still to reverse. I think it may benefit from the cash that it could get from the EDC sale, but above and beyond that, that's basically it. On a trend perspective, it's still relatively bearish. So there, that's what I always say, in all of our talks. And I'm back in the baggage handling or in the check-in facility where they X-ray you. This is it already. I've almost circled the airport, by the way, guys. So there. But I'll go back to what I was saying. a stock that's bearish will just continue to go in that progression until we see something shift, until we see something change. So next, Jose Andres B. Good morning po. Waiting to meet you here in Qatar. Thank you so much. Yeah, our first session will be tomorrow. No, we'll be doing 6 sessions in Qatar over the next few days, and it's exciting. I always say this all the time, that there's always a different dynamic in every city that you go. Kung nasa mga Pilipino, iba-iba, but there's the warmth, there's the hunger, and I'm liking it that the next generation of Filipinos now is really there's such a hunger to be financially free. There's such a big interest to be able to make your money work hard for you. So Jose, thank you so much for being part of the 1% population of Filipinos pushing forward for financial freedom and using the stock market to do so. So there, Godfrey John Russell. Hello sir, any thoughts on MPI? What do you want specifically? Is there any specific question about it? Next, Celine Ann Sanchez, have a safe trip. Thank you so much. Bon V Bongulo, any thoughts why AC is having a hard time to break the 1-1 resistance? A couple of things. Number one, the stock has been up already for quite some time this year, meaning there were a lot of early investors also that as it hit 8-1 are taking profits as well. You have to understand also that even a stock that's as bullish as Ayala, even a stock that has relatively good fundamentals, when people sell, when people take profits, when people are relatively happy with their gains, the stock will go down, the stock will retrace, the stock won't have a good time to go higher. So we have to wait until our goal, and I'll tell you this, our goal is not to predict and forecast what's the reason why it's happening, but our goal really is to just base it on what the charts are telling us. And if it hasn't really broken 1-1, two things: if you're a quick trader, you may take profits already. If you're a quick trader, you may take profits already. But if you're a position trader, what you're looking for is reversal signals. What you're looking for is reversal patterns, and we don't have any reversal patterns yet for Ayala Corporation. So there's no need to sell yet if you're in that regard as well. Next, Junjun Potot. Sir, what software do you use in technical analysis? I use a Singaporean-based app. It's called Chart Nexus. Just so you know, also, I'm not just investing in Philippine markets. I'm investing in US and Singapore markets as well. The reason why I use Chart Nexus is for the very reason that number one, it gives me easy to toggle. It's easy to toggle between Singapore, US, and Philippine markets in general. So I don't need to shift and change softwares just for me to be able to watch those markets. So it's nice to use it. Secondly, I can use it offline, and I've been using it na kasi for I think more than 5 years. So it's been easy for me, and it's something that yung nasanay ka na gamitin, and you don't want to try to learn other charting softwares because you like what you're using already. So I think there are a lot of other charting softwares there, but I just use Chart Nexus specifically. So yon, Junjun. Next, Roms Guevara. Sana next time sa Bahrain. Yeah, as long as someone will organize it, as long as someone will make the event possible, I'll be there. That's what I always say naman eh. As long as people invite me, as long as I'm welcome in that place, I'll do the seminar. So message me if you want to organize it, or you know someone who wants to organize it, so we get to do stock smarts there in Bahrain. I think Bahrain's relatively easy. Also, a lot of people have been inquiring to do stock smarts in Bahrain, but we really need someone who's very innovative and engaging to be able to make it possible as well. People who are creative and to take the narrative to bring stock smarts there as well. So if that's you, Roms, let's make it happen. Next, let's see, Hannah D. Pizza and Mir's most active gains. What about it, Hannah? What's your question about Meralco? I think for Meralco, no, it's just really the activities brought about its inclusion in the MSCI index, meaning as they're being tracked more, you expect funds to buy them, and as they're added to the index as well, you can expect people who are funds that are tracking the MSCI index will have to rebalance also and buy Meralco as well. So that's basically the story behind it. Fundamentally, they just posted their earnings results, so nothing much surprising in its earnings. It's okay, but not as I guess not as shocking positively as what would bring prices up on a very, very strong scale. Next, Adrian Diesa. Good morning, Lodi. WPI, is it good to buy now? Sige, again, for those asking for stocks, no, specific stocks or charting or timing, I'm currently walking, so my charting software is not with me. That's why if you notice, if I do stocks by request, I normally don't walk. I'm just stationary because I have to read my laptop. I have to read my charts from my laptop. So I don't memorize all of the charts from my head. I really have to look at it so I'm able to analyze it. Except for some stocks that have been pretty much either bearish or bullish, and nothing much has changed over the past few days and weeks. Other than that, if there's specific stocks also that I don't really watch as much, I have to really look at it to be able to analyze it as well. So I'll try to do it when I get to Qatar. Promise. Nathaniel Tagudin, Meralco is bullish the last few days. Yes. Again, similar to what I said a while ago, it's part of the MSCI inclusion. Jose Andres B, thank you so much to you and all who unselfishly teaching Filipinos to be financially literate. Yeah, it's my when I was lining up, no, I saw a lot of OFWs. I saw a lot of Pinoys having a hard, parang they were teary-eyed saying goodbye to their relatives here at the airport, especially here Terminal 1. Context of Philippine Airlines Terminal 1, all of the Middle Eastern flights are here. Qatar, Kuwait, I think Bahrain is also here. Then I think Abu Dhabi is also here. So you would see a lot of Filipinos that would be away from their relatives relatively a bit sad, and that's the goal of why I want to educate Filipinos, and that's the goal of why I just love to share information so that when people have the liberty to be able to invest and money starts making more and more for them, that it's just an option for them. If they want to go to abroad, if they want to go to the Middle East, okay lang, but it has to be that they get to live their lives at their own terms, that they get to save and invest and do the things that they want as well. Alam mo yun, we're not yet at the point where there's so much opportunities here that the government can give you opportunities if you can't create it for your own. Because in the Philippines, you either have to create the opportunities on your own. If you can't, it will be relatively harder. That's why I keep telling people, don't just look for a job. Don't look for a job. Look for opportunities where you're the ones giving jobs. I repeat, don't look for a job. Look for opportunities where you will be the ones creating jobs for other people. Because when you create jobs for other people, it's scary. The risk is there. It's not safe. It's not. You don't get a specific amount every month. It's not fixed. You don't get SL. You don't get VL. Everything is based on your ability as well. But the greatest reward is when you do things that are not fixed. The greatest reward is when you take life. You have to understand we only have one life to live, and try to do it at the edge. Try to do it doing the things that you want to do. Sayang kasi if you're in your 30s and your 40s, your 50s, don't spend the greatest, alam mo yun, the time when you have so much strength, the prime years of your life working for money. It's okay to work for money because we needed to eat, we needed to buy stuff, but don't let it drown out your passion. Don't let it drown out the things that are important to you. You don't. I remember this teaching that said that the greatest area with the most wealth in the world is found in each cemetery. Why? Why is it found in the cemetery? Because there's so many people who died with their dreams that have never been fulfilled. They have so much potential, but they never tapped into that potential. It's the richest place on earth because there's so many people who could have done so much to make the world a better place, who could have created the best apps, the best techs, the best medicinal items, the cure to cancer, and so many things, but they did not do it. That's what, and they brought all of those passions, all of those ideas to the grave. Why am I saying this to all of you? Push hard. Don't waste every moment that you have. If in this season of your life you need to work to earn, that's fine. But 8 to 5, work on your career. But 5 to 10 to 11 to 12 midnight, build on your dreams. Work on the things that you're passionate about. Because if you're passionate about it, that's what's gonna push you to do things. And like this one, I'm so passionate to do this. I'll probably end the year with more than 50 flights. It's a bit tiring, but alam mo yun, every time I have a talk, every time I have a chance to talk about finances or investing, feeling ko parang if you watch the NBA or watch the PBA, feeling ko ganun yung pakiramdam ko. Playing basketball for the NBA is tiring eh. But if you love what you do, and that's what I feel, it's not as hard as what you think it is eh. So, ayun, that's where I get my fuel. That's where I get my drive to do things, Jose. So I hope I answered your question. Celine and Sanchez, how does everyday trader does? What do you mean, Celine? What's your question for that? If you're asking how is it specifically done, number one, day-to-day traders have a routine. You need to build a routine, but that routine should be based on sound strategy. I'm assuming if you want to do relatively quicker trades, that strategy must be centered on technical analysis. It cannot be based on guessing, it cannot be based on news, it cannot be based on speculation, it cannot be based on rumors. But if you want to trade, it has to be specifically technicals. And if you want to trade, probably if it's shorter durations, it has to be shorter parameters, meaning shorter MACDs, shorter moving averages, 5, 10, or 20 day moving averages. You can make even the moving averages into EMAs, which is an exponential moving average, which gives a better and faster emphasis to the more recent days. Meaning, if a stock breaks out, those moving averages would point relatively faster. So those are certain strategies, certain parameters. What the key on making those parameters is really so that you do not follow emotion, so you do not follow, you do not guess. And then creating a routine with that is very, very important, because you have to understand, if you don't create a routine to that, it's easy to fall back on your planning. And then when you build a routine, it creates a discipline. When you have the discipline, that's what's going to give you the conviction that when everyone else doesn't want to buy, but your buy signal tells you to buy, you buy it. When everyone doesn't want to sell, everyone tells you to avoid the stock, but your signal is telling you also to take profits, you sell. And that's what I believe. Money is made in the market when you follow a set of rules that are based on either technical or fundamental analysis. When you avoid the news, you avoid gossip, you avoid rumors, you avoid speculation, but you buy based on sound fundamental and technical analysis strategy, and you just do it over and over and over and over and over and over again, and you try to remove as much emotion there is as possible. Nakangawit yung right hand. I've been walking for quite some time na rin. So let's see how long I can do this Facebook live session. As long as you guys have questions, we'll try to answer as much of it as possible. Hello, Sir Marvin, from Marvin Benavida. Sir, any opinion regarding now and FNI? What's your question about it? There was an 8% move for now yesterday, no? But let me try to include this ng stock specific, especially technical analysis specific questions, or I'll try to address this in stocks by request so that it's relatively cohesive. And again, for those who want to ask specific stock charts, I'm currently walking, so I don't have my charting software with me. So any other questions that's not stock specific or that does not require me to look at the charts, I'll try to answer it to the best of my knowledge. And again, I'm trying to kill time. 2-3 hours pa before my flight. Ang aga, ASEAN, thank you for no traffic, but I'm so early. TJ Wong, have a safe trip from Makati. By the way, I forgot to mention this, which was, I don't know if this is something to be excited about or something to be sad about. I took an Uber going to the airport. As I took an Uber, the Uber driver told me, sabi niya, walang kwenta yung ASEAN na yan kasi it doesn't really help the country, gagastos lang siya. Tapos na-shock pa siya lalo. I don't know if you know this, we spent around 15 billion pesos for the current ASEAN, which is a large amount of money as well. However, I really believe there's a big reward to it. The deals that will be created from ASEAN, the loans that we will get, the grants that we will get, the packs that will be made to make our economy even better, it will be worth the 15 billion. And the 15 billion is showcasing us to the world. I really believe that one of the things that is causing more people not to come to the Philippines is because they don't have a good opinion about it. They don't know what's in here. But the ASEAN is highlighting us and showing us, showing the world of what we can do and what we have. And I really believe it's high time. I really believe it's high time for the world to see what we have. Because as sad as it may sound, I'm a big fan of the Philippines. I'm a big fan of our growth. But I just came from Malaysia, Sydney, and each time I go to countries that are better than us, it just pains my heart because we have so much to offer, we have so much to give, and we really need to rally as Filipinos, as a country, that we can do something here. Why let other countries beat us when we have something to offer the world when our economy is so good. Again, just to give you context, we are a bit delayed. We are lagging behind other countries, but now we're running at a fast pace, something that we have never done before, something that has never been seen in our entire history. And I encourage you, those who are listening to this post, we are such an opportune time that our parents and our grandparents never had this economy that we have. It's now our responsibility to use this economy to make opportunities, not just for ourselves, but to make opportunities for other people. Because that's what I believe business is. Business is really you creating opportunities for other people, building value, disrupting, creating innovation. But as you do that, you build customers, you build clients, and money comes your way. Never focus on earning money. Focus on building value. Focus on making a difference. Focus on innovating. And that's when money will come. Even in the stock market, don't focus on making that big buck quickly. Focus on building your strategy. Focus on building on how good you can be, because if you continue to build that, that's when money comes. Money is just a byproduct of your skill. Money is just a byproduct of how you live your life and how you actually trade with confidence as well. Next, Aldrin Recto. Any opinions, sir, about IMI's stock rights offering? I'm personally not a fan of stock rights offering, but if you would like to, it allows you to buy a stock at a cheaper and a more discounted price. So if you plan to stay longer with IMI, it's only, you have to remember, this stock rights offering is only offered to shareholders. It's only offered to existing shareholders for the ability for you to be able to buy the stock at a parang discounted level. That's just basically it. So if you don't want to avail it, nothing happens to you. If you want to avail it and you want to, I guess, profit from more cash dividends in the future, it would be relatively better. Or even if you look at it that you believe that it's undervalued from where it is, then you get to buy it at a more discounted price. That's just basically it. For those who have been following this video for quite some time now, this is how small na iyawan is. Hindi ko alam kung nabilang niyo kung nakailan ikot na ako. You'll see naman the background hasn't been changing. I've just been running around in circles here. And nakangawit na rin. Let me fix my backpack because it's getting heavy. There. So, try to remove my backpack. I'll try to fix my backpack so it's not too heavy when I do this Facebook Live. There you go. Ayan! It's not so heavy anymore. Next question. Parang nawala yung bigat sa shoulders ko. Okay, next. Good day po, sir, from Bataan. Ayon, is it good to buy at its current price? Are you asking that from an investment perspective? I personally, from an investment point of view, I'm not a fan of Ion. The only reason that it's worth touching probably is if the technicals warrant it, if the charts are saying that there's a buy signal. But other than that, you can check the fundamentals. Please check specific financial ratios to check the profitability of the company. It's very, very important. If you want to buy it, specifically if you're an investor, the fundamentals must push you to check you if it's worth buying or not. So there, but I can include that. I'll try to do that in stocks by request. But personally, Ion for investing for me, it's not in my normal watch list. It's not something that I would look at on a regular basis as well. Son Quintas, Jerry and Son, will try to include that in stocks by request. Noel Ahurejo, sir, when start the stock smart sa Qatar? It starts tomorrow evening. What's nice about it is it's always for those days na may pasok sa Qatar, the sessions are in the evening. On weekends, that's the time we will have a whole day session as well. But other than that, everything will just be in the evening, so that all of you, if you have work, you don't have to skip work and you still get to attend those sessions. Because we really just want to cater to as much Filipinos out there as possible. Next, so Noel, I hope to see you. It's gonna be at Copthorne Hotel. It's near the old airport road. We're always in Copthorne Hotel. I don't know why, but we're always there. So it's also fun because Qatar is similar to Dubai. That there's such a rich number of Filipinos there in the Middle East, in Qatar specifically, that when you're in Qatar, you don't feel. Dun sa mga taga Singapore na nakikinig nito, if you think that there's a lot of Filipinos in Singapore, once you go to the Middle East, oh my gosh, there's so much. There's just so much Filipinos out there that you feel that you're in the Philippines. You don't feel that you're you don't feel that you're homesick. Ayun, that's what I feel there. And it's just nice. The community there in Qatar is just amazing. Next, Neil Luna, ex-boss, Neil, EXA, from a fundamental standpoint, earnings have dropped, sales have dropped. I don't have the numbers with me again because I don't have my laptop with me, but sales have dropped. It's much lower than what it was the 9 months 2016. And also from a technical perspective, the stock is pretty much bearish. So why am I saying this? Number one, technicals, it's not so good. Fundamentals, there's no buy signal yet as of this point in time. Jose Andres, thank you for sending the schedule. Samuel Baginon, thank you for asking for Meg. We'll include this in stocks by request. Bon Jovi, Bon Gulto, for long-term investment, what is your 3 top blue chip companies that you would recommend to buy? There's an article that I posted. It's also in my book. It's a top 5, mythical 5 of stocks. No, the context about that, these are stocks that work well together. These are stocks that are good together. These are stocks that, when they're combined together, they can really help you, I guess, have a good combination of stocks. And those 5 stocks are Jollibee, BDO, AC. So if you would just put 3, I guess you could add those 3 in the mix, but you could also add SM Prime Holdings and MPI if you want it to be a holistic 5. I don't know, I also love Ayala Land, so you can try to pick from those companies, but what you need to look for is, don't look at the label blue chips. It's not about the labels. It's not about what people would call a company, but you have to look at the fundamentals. So if you want to have a long-term investment, you better make sure 3 things are there. Number 1, it's fundamentally sound. It's good, a good company. But it's not just a good company, but fundamentals are showing that the earnings are growing on a regular basis. There's a really good growth rate. The company is probably in an industry also that's growing. You don't want a company that is not doing so well in its particular industry. So example is, you want, for example, in a growing economy, banks will always do well. An economy cannot grow without banks taking part of it. If banks are not there, walang magpapaloan, people can't buy houses, people can't buy cars, or people can't even buy can't use the funding to start and create new businesses. So that's what I'm saying. You have to find out, where is this company part of a sector that's actually growing as well. Then when you start looking at the company also, it's not just about buying a company at a good price. You have to look at it that it's relatively cheap. What I teach in Stock Smarts, in our Stock Smart sessions, is really to help people use fundamentals to determine which financial ratios you should look at, to determine if it's cheap, to determine if it's liquid, but not just that, to determine if it's actually growing. So it's a combination of so many things. Kasi bakit? You have to understand this, PLDT is regarded to be a blue chip stock, but however, the sell signal fundamentally for PLDT came around 2014 when its growth started to stagnate. And for those who are looking for growth, for those who are looking for something that's bigger, better, and growing, you don't want to buy a company that's not growing anymore. So at 3,000, 3,200, 3,400, that was actually the best time to sell PLDT. And now look at where PLDT is. PLDT is down, PLDT is nowhere, PLDT is relatively half of what it was before. So let's see if they can turn things around, and let's see if things will go better for them. But as of this point in time, that's what you look for. Don't look at the names, but look for what the fundamentals are dictating to it. Joseph Geromo asking for Pure Gold PXPDD. Noted, I'll add this to stocks by request. Wilfredo Sabordino, nagpapa-shoutout. Shoutout to you! Shoutout to you! Shoutout to Wilfredo. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. I think you're always taking part of our Facebook live sessions, and thank you. And it's nice to meet you guys. If ever we bump into each other sa mall or sa airport, please just let me know who you guys are. Hello. From New Life? Alabang? Yeah. Okay. Say hi to your mom. Say hi to your mom.
Hi, Mom!
Hello, where are you guys going?
Illinois.
Okay.
Pauwi ka na?
No, I'm going to Qatar. Qatar naman, yeah, for one week.
Just
departure. Okay, you're not based in the Philippines, ba?
Based in the Philippines.
Okay, so for vacation, you're on a vacation now.
Be back by January.
Okay, enjoy, sarap, lamig yun. Yeah.
You're
Thank you. Oh, you're in it na. You're in it. Hello. You're now in it. Okay, nice to meet you. Say hello to your mom also. Bye-bye. Or I guess she'd see this first. So, ayun. churchmates. Gia Mias, hello, I just met your daughter. Next. Batista Leon. See you, idol, here on Friday in your technical training. Have a safe flight. Yeah, thank you so much. 8-hour trip. But this is a relatively not so tiring trip. I guess it will be tiring later when I arrive, but since it's still 11 a.m., I don't need to force myself to sleep in the airplane. The problem with night flights is you need to force yourself to sleep. If you don't sleep, you're in trouble. And that's what happened to me in Malaysia and in Singapore. I had a hard time sleeping. I had a hard time resting also because of the time difference. But we'll see now. No, my body clock is still Sydney. I just arrived from Sydney yesterday. So body clock Sydney, which is minus 3 hours from where we are now. And then I'm going to Qatar, which is plus 5 hours. So relatively, I don't know how my body clock will react in the next few days. But I'm pretty much excited, especially it's not so hot now. I would always go to the Middle East July or August or September, but at least now it's not so hot. It's walkable and nice to go into. Next, Wilfredo Sabordino is asking, what do you think about Forex? Forex is, if you know how to use technicals, it's pretty much supply and demand driven. I repeat, if you want to use tech, if you're pretty much into technicals, it's pretty much supply and demand driven. So it basically means that you need to use your technical analysis very, very well if you want to trade Forex. Unlike stocks, Forex doesn't give you dividends. Unlike stocks, it's really macro news that would trigger movements like that. Unlike stocks, you get to dive down and check the companies as well. So am I invested in Forex? I'm not into Forex. I'm really a stocks guy. I really like valuing companies. Hence, that's why I love ETFs. I love REITs in Singapore. I love buying US stocks that are not available in the Philippines because it's still in the stock market. So my style is that others next to stocks and then they do Forex. Mine is since stocks is what I know. So my goal is just to focus on stocks, but that's just different markets as well. But Forex, if done well, and you know what you're doing, you don't really abuse leverage, you don't abuse margins, you're supposed to be fine, you're supposed to be okay. And I've seen a lot of people who have done very, very well in Forex. The thing about Forex also is it's relatively more volatile than what do you call this? It's more volatile than stocks. So anything that is more volatile, again, high risk, high reward. The greater the risk, the greater the reward. So if you're willing to go through that and with that and those movements, you're supposed to be fine. You're supposed to be okay. But again, heavily using technical analysis. Next, Romeo Diazon. Hi, Sir Marvin. What indicators do you usually use the technicals? Do you use a specific indicator for every stock? Thanks. Romeo Diazon from Japan. Number one, I just draw my own support and resistance. The difference between, this is what I tell a lot of people who attend our Stock Smart sessions. So, the difference between me and them is all of the things that I teach there, I've learned it through the years. And their advantage is they're learning all of those oscillators, indicators in one go. So for them, they have an option to pick and choose what they want, what's useful for them, what they think is something that's I think more holistic, something that will apply to them, to their context. But for me, I really started out from scratch. I started out using support and resistance. So my default is I draw support and resistance, then I draw my trend lines. Then that's when I put chart overlays. I put moving averages there. Then I'd whip MACD if I want to check more momentum. I'd look at ADX, DMI. If I want to check overbought, oversold levels, I use RSI more than I use stochastics. Then aside from that, I would also use for more momentum a lot. There's parabolics, there's Bollinger Bands. I don't use Fibonacci analysis as much because I like drawing my own support and resistance. So. But pretty much that's it. If I'm satisfied already of just drawing my support and resistance, I don't look for more confirmation. But the other indicators and oscillators, they again, you have to understand this. Adding more oscillators and indicators won't make your trades perfect. They'll just add a layer of bias and give you more confirmation to, I guess, add a certain level of conviction. But it doesn't mean you won't make mistakes, you won't make wrong trades. And you have to understand this. People think the more sophisticated you are, the more tools you use in technical analysis, analysis, lalong mas magulo yung charts, that means that mas magaling na kayo. It doesn't mean anything. Sometimes the simpler it is, the better. What works for you, as long as you know how to use it, you know how to find something that's consistent. It could just even be candlesticks. That will be fine. That will be good. No matter how simple it is, as long as you know it will work for you, that's good already. That's fine already. And that's where money is made. It's not about how complicated things are. It's about how to be mature is pretty much basic. To be mature in investing is knowing what to use at a specific time, that you don't have to look at every parameter to be able to make money and to be able to transact well in the markets as a whole. So Romeo Diazon from Japan, I hope I answered your question. We were just there in Tokyo last March. I don't know if we're gonna do one next year, but I hope to be back soon. It's always an amazing, the Japanese and the culture there, such an amazing group of people as well. Brian Pascual, hello to you. JR Marina asking, any thoughts on, if I have any thoughts on Bitcoin? Bitcoin is it's a very, very interesting, it's a very, very interesting topic, no? Number one, Bitcoin. I made a video about this because I really believe Bitcoin is now at a crossroads. It can either be nothing in the next few years, it can just crash, or it can be the currency of the future. You have to understand, currencies really are based on how much people believe in its use, how much people accept the use of Bitcoin. So if more and more people accept Bitcoin, if you have more and more people accept its usage, which is what's happening in Japan right now, is what's happening. That's why MasterCard also accepted it. You can really expect more people. You can expect a level of acceptance. It might cause. It might come to a point where when everyone accepts it, it becomes a currency as well. I think one of the advantages of Bitcoin really is. Sometimes kasi in the Philippines, banks make it hard for people to open accounts, and this will tap a lot of people who have a hard time opening bank accounts but want to transact, want to buy stuff, want to do things online, want to buy a ticket online, but they can't do that because they don't have a bank account, they don't have a credit card account. But now Bitcoin allows access to that. And another thing, if you're an OFW or if you're living abroad and you want to send money in the Philippines, Bitcoin allows you to send money without any charges. Bitcoin allows you to send money very quick because you can do it from your laptop, you can do it from your tablet, from your phone. And I guess that's one of the biggest advantages of it. No IDs required anymore. Everything is anonymous, but everything is transparent. So I think that's one of the biggest merits for Bitcoin, that it allows easier, cheaper access for people who want to send money around the world as well. However, yun din, whatever is its advantage can also become a disadvantage because it's been used also to send money for terrorism, for kidnapping, for things that are relatively bad because it's anonymous. So that's where you create a balance to it. That's why there's a lot of people who don't know what's going to happen yet. You have to remember, Bitcoin mining is just based on algorithms. It's based on the transactions that happen from different people who are mining it. So there's the advantage of Bitcoin also is there's only 21 million Bitcoins out there, meaning it cannot be inflated. And that's the biggest argument of people who follow Bitcoin. Unlike gold, unlike the US dollar or any currency in the world, it can be inflated. People can print more, governments can print more, and as they print more, it devalues the money. And you have to understand, Bitcoin arose from 2008 from the crash. A Japanese programmer made it and saying that it will protect, unlike what happened in the US financial crisis. Big banks got bailed out. Those managers of the banks that caused the crash got big bonuses, and no one went to jail because of it. So there, Bitcoin could address all of that because it's something that is unregulated, but it's something that's it's something that's unregulated, but something that's watched and can be very, very transparent because of the way it's worked now. It's not like a single banking entity now. All of the data for a bank is there. Unlike Bitcoin, it's in all computers, it's all peer-to-peer, so you can't hack into any computer or every computer in the world that's using Bitcoin. Unlike a bank, hack one, it's relatively in trouble as well. So my suggestion to it, if you're going into it and you want to transact using it, you want to convert and buy stuff using Bitcoin, I think it's relatively okay. But if you want to speculate on capital appreciation, you want to speculate on what it could be, I think you're far late into the game to be able to profit from Bitcoin. Those who invested with Bitcoin to $1 was just cents, relatively spocketing a lot. Those who bought when Bitcoin was relatively less than $500, less than $1,000, that's when the magic for Bitcoin would have been very, 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 very attractive for them. So if you haven't seen my video on Bitcoin, I'll try to send the link again, and I'll try to make another one. I think I'm due to make another blog already about it, so that more and more people get aware about it. But please, stay away from those Bitcoin blogs. A lot of people have been hit by those Bitcoin blogs, not blogs, Bitcoin scams that guarantee fixed return, that guarantee a specific amount in return, that's saying it's used for mining, that they say that it's used for trading in Bitcoin, and then they give you a fixed return. That's a scam. You have to remember this: anything that gives you a fixed return is a scam, and anything that will guarantee an amount of earnings is a scam. So I hope that answers your question. Pablo Santos from Dubai, hello to you. Wilfredo Sabordino, how do you invest in the MSCI index? Basically, you just buy mutual funds or funds that invest directly in it. It's mostly foreign funds, not something that you can buy locally. Next, Randall Chongson, hello, good afternoon to you. Ryanel Coronacion, hello, Ryanel, how are you? Ryanel is the guy who's making my posters, all of the things that you've seen in StockSmart over the past years. Ryanel has been part of it. Thank you, Ryanel, for making this possible. Now, you know what's interesting about making videos when you're walking? Every time na you walk, yung mga tao napapalingon, they're looking at what's happening. So they're actually checking what is it, no? And I've noticed it several times here in the airport as well. Next, Sunny Pobre. Hi Marvin, I would like to get serious with stock market. I'm joining your seminar in Dubai. Question, I'm a newbie. Can I possibly include joining? Oh naman! Can I possibly include joining the technical analysis seminar? Yeah, you have to understand. All of the sessions that we have for Stock Smarts are, how do I put this? They're all foundational. Meaning, if you're starting or you already have some time in the market but want to refine your trades, it's for you. The youngest that we've seen to attend technical analysis is an 11-year-old kid. If he can do it, so can you. I've seen other people with no background at all in finance attend the sessions under okay, and we've catered it in a way that it helps people. The way I do the seminars is I really don't want it to be boring, because the stock market alone has been intimidating enough for a lot of people already, and wala eh. I really want the seminars, each time I talk, each time I speak, I don't want it to be boring. I want it to be filled with life. I want it to be optimistic, because number one, there's so much people filling the country with filth and pessimism, that I want people to have optimism and hope in the seminars. And I've been to a lot of my fair share of seminars that I've attended, no? And I don't like attending boring seminars. So I try to make it as light as possible. I try to make it also as fun as possible, because I really believe that people learn more when they're enjoying. People learn more when they're having fun also with the seminar. So yeah, I hope to see you. We'll be in Dubai this February, the first week of February, after my London trip. So London trip, then I'll have a quick vacation to Iceland. Then after Iceland, we're going to Dubai for the seminar. So I hope to see you there, Sunny Pobre. Jose Andres B, advice about Tech B offer. What about it? I don't know if are you talking about the preferred shares? No, if it's the preferred shares, I'm not too sure if it's how do I put this? If it's offered also to locals, because I tried to get the preferred shares, but sabi ng preferred relationship manager ko, it wasn't available eh. So if that's what you're talking about, it's relatively preferred shares are okay. No, I'm a big fan of preferred shares for the very fact that it gives you a specific return. Preferred shares is very good if you want an amount of earnings that's specifically predictable. If you want an amount of earnings that up market, down market, you can get something. I really think preferred shares are the way to go if you're looking at it from that regard. So preferred shares, especially if the company is good, you can expect the level of payment to be there. So there, Francis Errol Medina from Dubai, hello to you. Christopher Go, How about GT Capital, sir? Goodbye. Are you asking this from an investment point of view, or a position trading point of view, or a quick trading point of view? If it's a trading point of view, we'll try to include this in stocks by request as well. But generally, no, Christopher, ko, I think no. Depends on how the tax reform bill will push. When more people buy cars at the end of the quarter because of the push of the tax reform bill, Toyota will have a larger amount of earnings. And then inside GTCap you have Metro Bank, which is still one of the largest banks, but in terms of growth, I think other banks in the industry, especially East West Bank, is doing much better. Junjun Hipe, Sir Marvin, anong edition yung I don't know yung edition but I would always download the latest version of Chart Nexus. Next, sa El Maglinas, hello, New Life, yeah, New Life, North Metro. Rene Soriano, anong sked mo dito sa Singapore? Singapore will be next week after Qatar. After Qatar, I'll just be in Manila again for one day. Then after one day in Manila, I'm going to Singapore for the next session there. It will be, I think, the last weekend of November. I think November 25, 26, or November 24, 25. We're doing stock smarts there. So I hope to see you. Please message me below if you want to get the details or the link, and I'll try to post it here as well. Next, Edmond Tandaan, good morning. Home province Kamsur from Naga City, asking for CNPF and IMI. We'll try to include that stocks by request. Investa Matters, looking for PSI strong support. The strong support is around 8,100 for the stock. So I repeat, the strong support is around 8,100. The strong resistance, which prevented the market from going up, is now the new support. I just wanted to sit down now kasi I've been walking for almost 45 minutes. I was just going around in circles naman. Bon Jovi, Bongato asking for MY. Yoli Salamat. Have a safe trip, sir. Yoli Salamat is from Sydney, Australia. Friendly reminder to make sure not to violate any laws. Okay, I won't violate the support and I won't violate any laws, of course. I will not forget Yoli Salamat because she's a attendee in StockSmart Sydney just last week. Sabi niya, Marvin, I said, what will happen to the support? And she said, na-violate yung support. It's the first time I've ever heard someone say support gets violated. Wilfel Sabordino, may new book ka ba naman, Sir Marvin, waiting to grab it? Yeah, it's there. We have copies of the books there as well in Qatar. Ayan, that's it. I don't know. I guess that's everyone. That's all of your questions. I've been walking for 45 minutes, but I'll walk again. Pagbalik Alindog program ko. But ayan, that's it. I've toured you already in Terminal 1. I've answered some of your questions when it comes to stock trading and investing. I still have 2.5 hours to burn. I'll log in now to check the markets. I'll also, I don't know, I'll eat, probably check emails, and I guess that's it for now. It's gonna be another 8 or 9 hour trip to Qatar, so I'm just trying to unwind before things get a bit I guess things get a bit boring already in the flight as well. So there, thank you so much to you guys who've been part of this Facebook Live session. Thanks to everyone who always would take part in all of this, and I genuinely hope that this videos help you and give you the conviction to trade the markets with ease and confidence. And for those who are asking for schedules, no, after Qatar we have Singapore. Then after Singapore we will have 3 sessions in 3 weeks in Manila. Then I will have StockSmarts Taiwan. Then after StockSmarts Taiwan we're having CDO, then London, then Dubai, all in 2018 next year. So that's it for now. Yeah, Marvin Germo from Manila, NAIA Terminal 1. I don't really ride Terminal 1, but they transferred the PAL operations here for Doha, Qatar. So I'm here at NAIA Terminal 1, one of the oldest airport terminals here, which they said was the worst airport in the world, but as you can see now, it's at least better than what it was before. You're seeing, I guess, progress happen, and it's being felt also. Kasi any progress that doesn't get felt, I think, is not progress at all. Progress that we have must be something that everyone gets to feel it. Kasi if we don't feel it, sayang eh. people won't get to take advantage of it, and we really want more and more Filipinos to not just take part of the growth but also feel that there's progress happening, because we really want it to grow and hit more and more and more and more and more Filipinos in different parts of the world. That's why I won't stop doing videos like this. No matter if 1 person will watch or 10 million people will watch, I'll keep on doing this because it's what I love to do. So thank you so much to you guys who've always been part of this. Next video, probably if I get bored later, I'll do another video. But if I'm not bored, the next video already will be in Qatar. Thank you so much also to everyone who helped organize this event in Qatar, and I hope that it just impacts as much Filipinos in that region as possible. So that's it for now. To everyone, I hope this Facebook Live session, which I did out of boredom because the flight was delayed, hopes you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. This is Marvin Germo from NAIA Terminal 1. See you all soon. See you from Qatar. God bless you. Have a great day.